Hi guys, so I'm back and in this particular video we'll try and decode all the questions from the mathematics section in the CLAT examination of 2015. In my last video I had just taken as examples 3 questions from that set. In this particular video we'll try to do a small analysis of what happens there and attack all the questions. So now as you can see here, so so first let's do a quick brief analysis of the question paper. Alright, so as you can see, CLAT examination is a speed test. CLAT examination is a speed test. There are 200 questions and you've got only about 2 hours time to answer those questions. So that leaves you with only 36 seconds per question. And that includes you have to read the question, comprehend the question and get the right answer. Now remember, you have to get the right answer. You don't actually have to solve the question. Okay, so getting the right answer and solving the question are two different things. If you get into solving the questions on each occasions in a speed examination like this, wherein you have to solve close to 200 questions in 120 minutes, you will always come a cropper. Now the marking pattern, the ratios are +4 and -1, or you can also say for every correct answer you get 1 mark and for every incorrect answer you get -0.25. So whenever in examinations you face a ratio of +4 -1, eliminate options and always take risks. So even if you don't know any answer and you go by a complete fluke, your probability of getting a correct answer is 25%. So the moment you eliminate any of the given options and you're left with the increased probability of getting the answers right, and in a scoring pattern of +4 -1, it always helps. Now coming on to the math section, out of these 200 questions, 20 questions in 2015 were from mathematics, elementary mathematics. Now the good part about mathematics questions is that there is a definitive answer and it adds to the accuracy of your overall score. So do not fear math section. It is a gateway to NLSIU, NALSAR and some of the top other NLUs in India. Unfortunately, I am a trained engineer and an MBA, so I do not have a lot of background to NLUs and all of that, but these are the two institutes I are the best. So anyway, now we'll quickly move into the question. So this question again is a very simple question. It's a powers and indices question and anyone should be able to do it. So it's a simple case of cross multiplication. Same base, powers will add up, so it becomes x raised to the power 3 and you have to just express the whole thing here. This is 4 into 2 raised to the power 5, which makes it 2 raised to the power 9, and we can express it as 2 cubed whole cube equal to x cubed, so x becomes equal to 2 cubed, which is nothing but 8, and that's the right answer. There's a very simple elementary class 4 5th type question. Now next we will attempt the DI caselet which was asked. It was a very simple caselet, and so this is the caselet, this is the table, this is what the information is given. M is nothing but the number of units manufactured. These are companies A, B, C, D. M is the number of units manufactured, S is the number of units sold, and the performance of all these companies are given across 5 years. Okay, so very quickly we will see how easy these questions are to answer. In fact, you don't even have to do all the calculations. The only thing that you have to take note, it was given in that these numbers are all in 100. So 2.8 means actually 2.8 into 100, which is nothing but 280. Yeah. So smaller the numbers, easier it is to calculate. So always remember that if you have big numbers, try to reduce those numbers to smaller numbers. So for instance, if you have a number like 2853, always think of that number as 28.53, and similarly scale down all the other numbers. So when you are suddenly 2853 becomes 28. Yeah. So this is just a tip, because here you have all your numbers already reduced in this form, so you don't need to really worry about it. Okay, so the first question, we will see how quickly we will do this. Okay, what is the total number of units manufactured by company C? So this is company C, okay, over all the years together. So we have to find out what is this total. So see, it is all 2.6, 2.2 something. What we'll do is, it's got a 2 in everywhere and the 5 years, so that makes it 10 already. Yeah, so this is 10, and now we'll see 6 to 1, 6 to 8, 1 9, 9 8 17, and 6 is 23, which is 2.3. So that makes it 12.3, and you can easily say that this is the right answer. So we'll move on to the next question. Next question asks you, what is the approximate percentage increase in the number of units sold by the company? Just a second, I will increase the weight here. Yeah, what is the approximate percentage increase in the number sold by company E in year 2007 from the previous year? So it's again a simple question. 2007 units sold, that is 1.7, from the previous year. So you see there is a rise of 0.3. So 0.3 over 1.4, because it says you have to calculate the percentage increase from the previous year. So base will be 1.4 and not 1.7. And this is 33 by 14. You can write it as 3 by 14, right? And which is approximately equal to 3 by 15, which is approximately equal to 1 by 5, which is approximately equal to 20%. Now since the base here is smaller, therefore this should be slightly higher than 20%, and therefore 21% is the right answer. You don't even need to calculate again. Now coming on to the third question, which again, let us see the number of units sold by company D in the year 2006. So we go to 2006 and we go to company D. Okay, is what percent of the number of units manufactured by it in that rounded off to 2 decimal digits. Now you see all these options are far apart from each other, so you should totally ignore the last 2 digits. So basically it is 52%, 61%, 85%, 73%, and in fact you can see that these are all in different tens. So one is in 50s, one is in 60s, one is in 80s, and one is in 70s. So the options are quite far apart from each other. So again we will not do a proper calculation. Number of units sold by company D in 2006, which is 2.2, okay, is what percentage of number of units manufactured, which is 3. So you can write it as 22 by 30, which is very close to 21 by 30, which is again approximately equal to 70%. Okay, now here we have reduced it to ease out the calculation. Therefore this percentage will be slightly higher than 70%, and there is only one such number here, which is 73. So now let's move on to the next question again. So now the next question talks about what is the respective ratio of total number of units manufactured by company A and B together in 2009 to sold by them in the same year. Yeah, so it talks about company A and B, it talks about the year 2009, and respective ratio of total units manufactured. So see, manufactured units is 1 and 2.4, which is equal to 3.4. I am writing it as 34. Sold units is 0.4 and 1.3, which is 1.7. I am writing it as 17 is 2 is to 1. That is your answer. You are done. Okay. Now the last question from the caselet. It talks about the average number of units sold by company D over all the years. So this is company D. This is sold. Again, now these, and once you look at it, the minimum is 1.1. Okay, and the maximum is 2.2. So the average has to be between any of these, between these two numbers, and we will come to that. So the average should be anywhere between 110 and 220. So we cannot really eliminate any option based that. Now we see that the average here, if you sort of lay it down, 1.5 is the median number. So average, if I look at the spread of these numbers, the average should be anywhere around this number. Okay, and there are two numbers around this, 158 and 147. So I have to find out the right answer between these two. These two numbers are automatically eliminated, because you can see the deviation from 1.5 to 1.1 is 0.4, and here that deviation is 0.7. Here that deviation to the is 0.4, and here it is 0.3. So more or less, it will be slightly higher than 1.5, which will be 158. It is an absolutely safe guess to take, and 158 will be the answer. You can do the calculations, and by more practice, obviously you will find these questions very easy and simple to answer. Sorry. Now we'll get to this question. So it is nothing but a series of calculations done, and in order to find out the question, if you look at the question, you actually have to run a number of calculations in the reverse order. So your final answer is 25 here. Okay, so we'll start off with 25. Just let me show how quickly we can reach the answer. Yeah, so we'll start off with 25. So 25, we see that some number is divided by 1 by 1 plus 1 by 5. So the final answer is 25. So if it is divided by this, I will multiply it by this number, which will give me what? 30. Just mark my steps. Okay, so whatever is done here, we will do the right opposite because we are moving in the opposite direction. Now 3 is added, so we will subtract 3. We get 27. Now we say the sum is multiplied by 4.5. What we will do is that we will divide it by 4.5. Okay, so it's 2 by 9. It becomes 6. So that is the number, and 2.5 is added to the number. So what we'll do is that we'll subtract 2.5, which gives us 3.5.